Hey everybody, welcome to JW's Radio. It is Saturday morning again. Week just flies by, don't it? But that's what happens. But the good thing is we're here and it's time for radio. Okay, so before we get into some stuff that's been going on through the week, we have some cool stuff that we've been doing. First up, we got the Through Night flashlight. So if you haven't seen the video, the review on it, check it out. They sent us the TI4 Compact. It's a pen light, and I've actually been liking it. You know, it's about the size of a Sharpie marker. In the review, we do some comparison and everything like that. We're getting ready to film some more of the torture test stuff that we'll do with it. You can see just how bright this sucker is. Look at that, even the strobe. But I've always liked the click button better. Somebody actually asked me what I actually would prefer for an EDC, the TI4 or the TI3. The TI3 is actually more along the size of a AA battery. I would carry that. I told him in the comment, I said, you know, I would carry that probably over this one, only because of its basically the size of the thing. The size and the amount of output you get with the lighting on it. Really cool. You know, when your thing to remember with EDC is you don't want to be walking around holding, you know, everything from, you know, the kitchen sink. Next thing you know, you're just weighted down. Reminds me of a joke that was told once. It was said, you never have too much ammo. Only in two points in your life would you have too much ammo, and you hope that you would never find yourself in these positions, and that is drowning in the water or on fire. Carrying that much ammo with you, I guess. You know, so that always reminds me of that movie with Bruce Willis. It's called Last Man Standing. I believe it's directed by Walter Hill. And it is just a silly movie, but if you're into the old school guns and 1911s and stuff like that, it's a take. That story that it is based off of is a take off of A Fistful of Dollars, which is a take off of Akira's Kurosawa's. I'm probably saying that wrong. His take on a old Japanese movie. Anyway, so that story has changed hands so many times, but that's what the story is. But basically, you know, it's Bruce Willis with a couple of 1911s in cross-draw, shoulder holster style rig, and basically going through and blowing away a bunch of bad guys, firing 67 rounds without reloading. So if you're into that kind of stuff, but it's kind of neat because they just show, I mean, if you love just 1911 shells popping up everywhere, you can hear, that was always the thing, is you could hear the shells hitting the ground as he's doing the action sequence. But one of my favorite scenes, it's so ridiculous, is he's sitting there loading up, there's a scene, he's just loading 1911 magazines. He's got a big bunch of boxes of bullets, and he's got like probably 30-40 magazines already loaded up on the table, and he's just loading. You know, he's got his wife beater on with his suspenders, and he's just loading it up. Now my thought is, okay, for those of us that have a 1911 or maybe felt a 1911 and felt the magazine, you know, your average bullet for that time was 230 grains, or, you know, hardball ammunition. That's a pretty heavy round. You know, if you get a 1911 magazine, load it up, you know, with the 7 rounds of that stuff, and feel the weight on that. Now imagine having to carry 30 of those on you. Like, how do you even go about that? One side of your coat or the other side, you have to remember to, like, okay, I'm grabbing mags from this side, but this side's getting too heavy, so you know. Anyway, so all joking aside, so. We got some mystery guns that we'll talk about right under here. Hopefully you can see that, just the covering of there. Yeah, we got some interesting ones we're going to talk about. Okay, but first of all, this right here, I bet you're wondering why this is here. I don't drink, first of all. I do not drink. It's just not something I do. I don't, you know, look down on anybody that does it, whatever, you know. Of course, unless you have a problem, then you might need to try to get that corrected. But anyway, I got really interested in this fellow YouTuber I watch named Stephen Bush. I watch his stuff quite a bit, and what he does is beer reviews. Of course, me, I know nothing about beer. I just know that usually it doesn't taste very good for me. But he has been doing some of these reviews, and the majority of his reviews, the beer is rather dark, and that always intrigued me. I said, wow, why is that so dark? It looks like oil. So when he describes the taste of it, I mean, that's how good he is. He's like, he makes it sound, and the way he's talking about it. Of course, he's drank a lot more than I have, but anyway, so I became very interested in that, and I was like, wow, that seems, I kind of want to try that, and what really got me going was like, look how dark that thing is. I wonder what the flavor is. I've never really tried dark beer. The only dark beer I've ever drank was Newcastle, which is actually pretty good, but in the end I just don't like the taste, I just started to grow out of it. It wasn't, so anyway, he did one called Not Your Father's Root Beer, and it's a 5.9 alcohol. We have the empty bottle here because what you're about to see is a clip that we shot later earlier during the week. We did obviously I'm not going to sit here on Saturday morning and drink a beer. That's just not what I'm going to do. So anyway, I'm going to roll the clip that was shot later, earlier in the week. So I'll roll the clip again. Surprisingly, to my opinion, it was very good. It tastes like root beer. Anyway, check this clip out. Okay, here we go. Welcome to this clip of the radio show. We did this this way because I did not want to drink this in the morning. So this is called Not Your Father's Root Beer, and actually the reason we're doing this is because of Stephen Bush. Stephen Bush I've been following his channel for quite some time, and he has definitely gained my interest and attention with all his beer reviews. The thing that caught my attention a lot was all these darker beers that he does. And now, before you guys do some judging on me, please, I don't drink. I don't drink hardly ever. I used to drink whiskey. I liked it, but I've never been a big drinker. So this is something definitely. I pretty much did this because of Stephen Bush to check it out, and I want to try it. So I'm not going to drink the whole thing. I'm just going to try it, really. So you guys get to tune in a little bit, something different here on the JW's radio, right? Okay, so I don't even have a proper beer glass, but I wanted a glass cup of some sort. This is, I think, a wine glass, just so you can see how dark it is. So here it is, the Not Your Father's Root Beer. They say on the label. Again, I'm not a beer reviewer or anything like that. So this is probably the only one that's going to ever exist on this channel. It says, this beer is flavored with spices. We'd like to think of it as a dark spiced ale. Anyway, so not going to drag it out. It's a 5.9 alcohol content. So not sure what that refers to. So I'm going to open it up. I don't have a bottle opener, but these work just fine back when I was a security. Don't drink and drive or you will be seeing those. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Alright. That's probably more than I want in there, but I just wanted to... the other thing I wanted to do, actually... Hang on, let me go get it. Alright, I got it. Got my light from Through Night. That's the brightest setting. I did a couple of reviews on that. Check it out. We did a torture test. That was fun. Check that out. Alright, so... One thing, I noticed this is what he does. It's to see how dark it is. Wow. I must say. Here, let me dim some of the lights here real quick. If that tells you anything. Again, sorry, I'm not an actual professional beer reviewer, so I'm just gonna try it. Alright, here we go. We've dragged this on long enough. It smells really good, I must say. I do like root beer, so that's also partly what interests me into doing this. So, wow, that's actually pretty damn good. Wow. It tastes like root beer. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, that tastes like root beer. It that's scary that that's alcohol. Well, hey. Well, that's pretty good. It's I feel like it's filling. But anyway, that you can taste the alcohol. But it definitely tastes like root beer. Anyway, that's it. Not your father's root beer. But mainly, I did this for Stephen Bush. Anyway, thanks, Stephen, for all the good beer reviews that you do. Even though I don't really drink, but had to try it because of his videos. Anyway, let's get on with the radio show. All right, welcome back. Well, there you have it. It actually, for those of you that tuned in to the Combat 86 radio show, I know we're like kind of getting confusing here, but anyway, the Combat 86 channel of mine is the second channel that I do. I do mostly just, it's really random stuff. Sometimes, like, I'll do something that we leak it a little bit before the main channel gets it, so it gives you kind of an idea of what we're doing, so it's kind of a heads up if you care. It's other than that, it's mostly like my vlog channel. I just kind of ramble, really. Kind of like what this video is, only this is just kind of once a week here on the main channel, Batjack JW, with the over 2,000 subscribers. Unbelievable. I thank each and every one of you. That is amazing to me, to get this kind of following, and I greatly appreciate it. You guys have given me, and gals, you guys have given me something I've always wanted to do. Even as a young kid, I always was like, I love movies. Movies is just... So, anyway, with that note, let's get rid of this. I did not waste the rest of the six-pack. I gave it to a friend of mine that does drink, and he's going to enjoy it. Maybe I'll get a video of him trying it. On that note, why do I have this glass back out here? I'll show you what I like. I actually am a big fan of sarsaparilla, and recently, as I was buying sarsaparilla, found this stuff. It's Frost Top Red Birch Beer. So you're getting two taste tests in one radio video. How do you like that? Extra creamy Frost Top Red Birch Beer. There's only one place in this town that I have found that sells sarsaparilla. I am very disappointed with that. I love root beer. And this is something I've also enjoyed. So I'm going to actually pick this up. It's get this from a hardware store. It's a hardware store that sells it. And they sell it, it's a $1.39, you know. So anyway, you can see the glass there. And Cinco de Mayo was Thursday. So we figure, hopefully you've seen that video, right? Guacamole, did you understand that? That was, we'll get to that. Anyway, so there it is. It's kind of a red. Sorry the dogs are barking early in the morning, right? They just get going already. Now that I like. That I like. Very refreshing. I'm not much of a soda pop drinker, but I am a big sucker for root beer. That's just kind of my downfall. Very good. Alright, let's get this out of here. Get some space going here. Okay, so let's, I'm going to grab some stuff that I really wanted to talk about. I know this is going to kind of be a longer video, but let me grab it real quick. The dogs really don't let up. What do we have here? This is a pretty good section of my John Wayne movies that I really enjoy. I had them all on VHS long ago, and they quit making VHS pretty much, and they went to DVD. And I remember when they did that, I was like, oh, really? But anyway, so I found some of these actually I found at yard sales. This is Hondo. I found this in Walmart for $3. Had to have that, did not have that. There's a lot I don't have. I think the guy made like, what, over 200 films? My goodness. Longest Day, found that at a yard sale. That's a great old war movie. It's got, man, this has got everybody in it too. So many people, I don't even think they got a chance to list them all in the front thing, but it's that's the one where he talks about, which is interesting. I never really knew that until I watched a movie about the clicker these guys had, the cricket. I don't know what, but it was a way they could sound off to each other without giving each other away to the enemies. You know, like, hey, you know, 1 click followed by 2 clicks. I think that's what John Wayne says in it. Got this one at a yard sale, The Undefeated and North to Alaska double pack. I love North to Alaska, makes me laugh. I like it. You know, it's fun. And my personal favorite, The Sons of Katie Elder. I really like The Sons of Katie Elder because that's, you know, that was the first time really he showed up with his yellow-handled grip gun, his 45 or 44-40, whatever he's carrying. But that's the first time I noticed he showed up with his aged yellow ivory grips. Set these over here. And Chisholm's good. Got Kate Hale, United States Marshal, Red River, excellent movie, and Donovan's Reef is really funny. I like Lee Marvin in that. What is that part? He says, what is he? They're doing this. He's reading the letter that Lee Marvin wrote, and he says, I don't know. He critiques or criticizes something about it. Yeah. And Lee Marvin goes, well, how am I supposed to know I'm not the one shacking up with her? Oh, this is a really good... I got this off of Amazon. And of course, right after I get it on Amazon, Walmart gets it right. This is the John Wayne 4-pack. And you get in this, they were Expendable, Operation Pacific, Back to Bataan, and Flying Leathernecks. All in one. And they are separate discs. Yeah, there's three or so discs in there. One's a double disc, but anyway, that's cool. Just tossing them over here on the cushions, not just throwing them on the floor. Island in the Sky. Bought this at the bookstore in town. And they have this was a really good movie. First time I ever seen it, when I saw it, I was like, hey, I gotta get this. I haven't seen it. There's a lot of his movies I haven't seen. And then, of course, True Grit. Now, this is where the Blu-ray starts. True Grit on Blu-ray. And this is actually the Steelbook set. And then, of course, I couldn't grab this off the shelf fast enough when I saw this at Walmart. Rio Bravo on Blu-ray. Tell you, this movie never looked that good before. I mean, just remembering watching it on VHS, you know, I mean, and then I got the War Wagon. I really like the War Wagon. He says, man's carrying my gun. He says, what? My pa gave this to me. It's like, well, he goes, well, Ta, if that's your gun, why don't you take it from him? And he sure does take it from him. And he says, he goes, the sheriff or marshal comes by, he says, any trouble here? He says, nope, just getting what's mine. The gun belongs to me, but the shells belong to that man. And you can tell him he can come get them anytime. One of my favorite lines in there. And Rooster Cogburn. Gotta have Rooster Cogburn. That's one of his last westerns almost. This was the second to the last, right before The Shootist. Which The Shootist, I do have it. It's just on a loose disc. I don't have the cover anymore. And I also got the Comancheros, Real Lobo, and the Cowboys. The Cowboys. Oh, I missed one. I have a triple pack Blu-ray. Has the Cowboys, the Green Berets, and the Searchers. The Searchers, very good movie. Anyway, this was Katharine Hepburn They go down the river with the Gatling gun. And another one of my personal favorites, I probably watched this one a ton of times, El Dorado. Anyway, just wanted to bring all that stuff out and everything like that, and we'll get to the guns, right? Okay, so what do we have? Oh, okay. We have the Beretta M9 or 92 FS. Everybody says, "Oh, the military." The military is the only one that calls it an M9. I think somebody said that in a comment, but the reason is because the one that I have here actually does say U.S. 9mm M9 Beretta. It doesn't say 92 FS anywhere other than the booklet that it came with, which is just a generic booklet. So anyway, so all right, and our beloved 1911. We got a couple of them out here, and the reason we got a couple of them is to show you the amount of changes that has happened to this thing. But the 1911, as we know, John Moses Browning, a genius by all rights and means, designed this firearm, great firearm, and it was adopted by the United States military on March 29, 1911, and it stayed in service until '85, when they went and replaced it with the Beretta. Now, Beretta, given its respect and due, it's a very, very great pistol. I like it. It's an accurate pistol. It shoots smooth. Everything on it, it's smooth. My only gripe with it, this is my only gripe, it has way too many pins and springs and parts. That's way too many parts to go wrong. Way too many, you know, I mean, that is just kind of my opinion. I'm sorry that if you know, but check out my video I did. It's called Inside the Beretta, and I took that thing apart. It is almost like 20 minutes, that video, because literally I tried to cut as much time off of that as I could, but that is how long it took me to just show detailed how this gun comes apart. Now, other than that, it's a great pistol. Now, ironically, I didn't have to have this because of the military and the 1911 thing. I'm a big fan of Lethal Weapon and Die Hard, the first three at least. But Lethal Weapon, I've always liked Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon is one of my favorite action movies. You know, although the director Richard Donner is a anti-gunner. But then again, you know, that's the problem with Hollywood. That's what it's filled with now. You know, the days of John Wayne and all those guys, they don't make them like that no more. Now it's all just... And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about is John Milius. John Milius, the writer, one of the writers for the first two Dirty Harry movies. John Milius, big hats off to him. I want to actually do a video specifically for him, but John Milius is a pro-gun writer and director in Hollywood, and he stands his ground, and he is not afraid to say it. And he is also a member of the executive NRA something. He does a lot of stuff with the NRA curators and stuff like that on their channel. You can actually see him talking about the Dirty Harry gun, and it was because of John Milius is the reason why Dirty Harry has his Model 29. That's because John Milius had one when he was writing it out. And of course he made it, glorified the gun, and he made it a part of a character in that movie. So big hats off to John Milius. Awesome dude. I'm glad that there's still somebody like him left in Hollywood. Anyway. Alright, so yeah, they, with the whole replacement and everything, and this is pretty much the way the 1911 looks. This is the Colt, what they call it, the reintroduction or something for the 1911. It's taken to the World War I style, everything, down to the horrible sights, the wide hammer, the really no beaver tail, so you'll get a pinch from it, which is all fine. It doesn't, that's actually why I liked it, was because it was old, it was cool, it was nostalgic, it was something that was like, this is neat. I had to have it. Anyway, channel, did a lot of videos on that with the channel, so, and then of course this is kind of like more of a modern style 1911 with everything, all the goodies on it. This is the Kimber Desert Warrior. You've got all kinds of stuff that has changed on it, so, And supposedly they've gone back to the 1911 and adopted something like this, right? So anyway, I figured we bring those out and kind of talk about that, because I don't think we've actually really done that on the channel, is actually refer to all these guns as the military guns and all that. So that was interesting to look at. I wanted, you know, once I got this gun, I was like, hey, if you kind of think about that, I started thinking about my collection. I said, wow, look, I got the two controversial, you know, guns in the military, handguns that is. Anyway, this here is the polymer coated bullets that we got from Badman Bullets. Check him out. If you're a reloader, this is definitely something you should look into, as I think Federal is now doing it too, and if you ask me, they copied his red. If you can put a patent on a color, you probably can't. But anyway, Badman Bullets, Patrick over there, he's been doing this a lot longer, and he's been putting the red coating on his bullets, and they're polymer coated. That's what it is. It's polymer coated. We're gonna do some testings with it, but we shot some over the weekend and everything. Not over the weekend. When was it? Tuesday. Tuesday we went out and shot some, tested some. We shot some video. But I wanted to know for myself just how clean it shot, you know, because that's the thing I want to do, make sure that on this channel, even though we get stuff, you know, we get the help from companies like Through Night, you know, Badman Bullets, the Cowboy Fast Draw Association, you know, they help us out a little bit, but, you know, big help comes from Badman Bullets, you know, him sending us the bullets that we can test and shoot. You know, he basically sponsors it. You know, basically the shooting videos that you see where we're using this bullet is sponsored from him. He made it happen. He sent it over. Of course, we got to reload it. I got the machine and the powder and all that going, so I have to come. But the main part, you know, this is the main part that I can't. All the powder and primers I've had it for years, but this part is the one that keeps getting expensive on us. But he's the one that makes it possible. So I really have to thank him for that. And the other thing on this channel is I want to make sure that people know that I'm not going to sell you junk, or I'm not going to promote junk. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you folks and say, oh, this product is absolutely great just because I got it for free or I was paid to do it. No, I'm not going to do that. That's just something I won't do. And that's why with Through Night, they had contacted me. I was really kind of, I didn't want to do it at first because I didn't know what this is. You know, I had no experience with it, but I went ahead and said, all right, you know what, let's try it. And mainly because I noticed that other guys had done the reviews on it, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it, so to say. Got it in the mail and tested it out, and yes, that is my honest opinion. It's really awesome. I really like it, and I don't mind promoting something that is good, because I don't, at least it's for me, I'm not a flashlight professional or anything, but you guys hopefully seen the torture test video with the TI3. I mean, that, to me, as a keychain light, I mean, that's more abusive than it could possibly really gather on somebody's keys on a daily basis. You know, I mean, we threw it down the stairs, we dropped it on the concrete, we threw it in the water, we submerged it in the water, we spilled coffee on it, we lit it on fire. You know, but no, I wanted to make sure you folks knew that I wouldn't. You see, that's what happens. Anyway, we'll have to get that later. But I would not promote you junk. But no, for real. Long before I even did YouTube, I was buying from Badman Bullets. And what I liked about it was he has good customer service. He always has, because you're dealing with him and he owns the company. You're not dealing with a large company that's just like, to them, you're just one of the millions of people that buy their product. I was buying a lot of my lead components and stuff in the past before YouTube from like Midway and Cabela's and whatnot, and usually getting just the cast lead because it was the cheapest by I don't know, whatever. I don't really want to name other company names, that, you know, their product, but darn, it was expensive. I tell you, I mean, by the time it was said and done, I was spending almost $100 just for, you know, 500 pieces, you know, because after shipping and handling and everything, man, you know. And then the thing is, usually those cartons they ship them in get broken open during shipping, and I've had that happen more times I can count. you get your package, they're rolling all around in there, and you know, so, and some of them got damaged. Badman bullets, however, each box that he ships them in is wrapped in plastic, you know, so that's not gonna happen, you know. And he takes care of it, you know. Hey, if something's wrong, he has no problem with taking care of it. And every time I call him, he's there. He's, you know, hey, he ships the stuff out right away. And the thing is, for if you buy the 1,000-round pack or anything over 1,000, which as a reloader you should be, you know, buying more the better, it ships for free, and it ships priority mail for free. So, and they've always arrived in good condition, and they arrive at your doorstep pretty fast. So yeah, so we were out there, we're shooting some of these 1911s with it. You know, I must admit, when I was shooting those 1911s, it was like I was a little disappointed because I wasn't as good with it as I used to be. That's because lately we've been doing a lot of other stuff, you know, shooting a lot of revolvers. We did a lot with that Glock. We did a lot, yes, the Glock. But no, we had that barrel from Lone Wolf Distributors, the Alpha Wolf barrel. We did a lot with that, and of course with the polymer bullets. So we're going to be do more stuff like that and gear up. And definitely I want to do a big 1911 video. We got a bunch of lead from him. So in a sense, what I want to do is really run one of these things, you know, really good, like, you know, it's just shoot it in the video, just shoot it, so see the reliability, see how dirty it gets, start it clean, you know. And then of course we got to do the update video with the grease. A lot of people have been watching that video, thanks to Stephen Bush getting that synthetic high temp grease from Walmart, $4 in a can. That's been lasting, and I've used that thing for, I mean, mold release for my grips to just anything, coating the guns if I'm going to store them for a long time. Anyway, on that note, thanks to another YouTuber, the gun oil I've been using is just home brew. Yeah, that's right, home brew. That is pretty much motor oil and transmission fluid, automatic transmission fluid. It's a 4-to-1 part. So four parts of your 10W30 or whatever oil you're going to use, and 1 part ATF, automatic transmission fluid. Bought that stuff from the hardware store and been, you know, one shot. I think it was $13 for the 2 bottles, and I just, you know, used the 1 whole bottle of the motor oil and then measured it out to the 1 part of the ATF stuff, which I still have somewhere. But I've been using it and it's been lasting. I just, for me personally, you know, again, this is just my opinion, I got tired of buying a little 4-ounce or a little 8-ounce bottle of this lube and spending, you know, 10, 12, 14, 15 bucks, sometimes more on it every single time, and it just running out, you know. It's like, so now this stuff, I just, you know, go. You know, it works. It seems to be working, and I found that out by other YouTubers. They've actually, some guy messaged me and told me about it, you know, on that grease video, and the grease video came from Stephen Bush, another YouTuber. So anyway, really, hopefully I didn't put you to sleep. I'm gonna cut it off now, end this radio for Saturday. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully it was somewhat entertaining anyway. And we had a little bit of news, a little bit of what's going on. We'll continue to do that as always. So I'm Bat Jack JW, signing off for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.